Hey, and welcome back. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at statistics functions. So I skipped over, when I was making the videos, we did calculations, graph equations in this worksheet, and then it went to regression because those are the four that you'd use in our math classes. The statistics function is not typically used until you take the statistics class. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter this data in. We're going to make a box plot. We're going to make some cumulative relative frequency plots. We're going to do some other things. Okay. So what we're going to be looking at is hours. So I'm going to be putting that in first. So in here, I'm going to put in these values. So 5, 12, 18, 22, 6, 14, 25, 2, 9, and 7. What this is the number of hours a person spends on a treadmill. And the other variable is the number of miles they traveled. So we're not doing regression. So I actually only need the hours right now. So I just go to my data and I plug in those values in here V1. And I go to my graph and I can choose. Do I want a box plot, a histogram, a cumulative frequency plot, or a normal probability plot? That's all you got to do. So this works on the box plot. So I hit box plot, I look at it and go, okay, there it is. And what does this tell us? It tells us the data is a little bit skewed to the right. Okay. You can see the median here is at 10.5, and the distance from the median to the max is 14.5. And the minimum here is 2, so that distance is only 8.5. So there's a greater distance here. You can see that by the length of this right side of the box and the length of the right whisker. So box plots are helpful for assessing skewness right away. And that would tell us that the mean of this data set's probably greater than the median. So if you go to statistics over here, you can see that the median is 10.5, and down here the mean is 12. Okay. So those data points are pulling up the mean. The next thing is to show what a histogram looks like. So you choose histogram. And it looks like this. Now these are set at intervals of 2. You can see down there it says the interval 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. So this is giving us a lot of boxes, a lot of these bins. Now I don't like that. I think there's too many bins. So I'm going to go up to the settings and I'm going to change the bin width to 3 and try that. I go, oh, okay, well, it looks a little better. And then I say, well, maybe I want it to be 4. Try that. And I might stick with that. I might say, let's make it 4. Or you might make it 4 and start at 0. That's an option too. Okay. So this says from 0 to 4, there's 1 point. And you can see there was someone who got a 2. And then we had quite a few people from 4 to 8. And then these are all 1, that's 2, and these are all 1 again. Okay. So again, maybe you don't like it 4, maybe you like it 5. Okay. And that's not bad either, right? We got 1 here, we got 4, 2, 1, 1, 1. I actually think I like 5 the best. Usually between 6 and 8 bins is what you want. So you kind of look at the range and say, okay, this goes to 22, it starts at 2, that's 20. If you divide that by 6, you're getting, 3 to 4, divided by 8, you're getting closer to 3, I guess, well, more than 2, 3. So 3 or 4 or 5 was fine. So this is an option. So that's how you make a histogram. Now we can go back to our type here. So if you want to change the graph type, you just go to type here instead of settings. You say I want a cumulative relative frequency graph. And it looks like this. What this is showing you is the percentile, basically. So at 2, you've accounted for about 10% of the data points. And by the time we get over here to 9, 50% of data points. So 50% of the data points are at or below 9 hours. And here at 12, it's 60. So it gives you that as you go to the right, and the percentage is increasing because you're covering or including more data, because it tells you the number of data points at or below that X value. So that's what a cumulative relative frequency graph is. And then the last one we're looking at is the normal probability plot. So what this is used for is to tell you if this data is approximately normally distributed. What that means is, does it look like a bell-shaped curve? And you could kind of tell that it wasn't a bell-shaped curve, right? If I go back to the histogram, this is not a bell-shaped curve. It is skewed to the right. Now, there's not a lot of data points over here, so it doesn't have a really strong skewness, but it is certainly skewed to the right. And this tells you that same story, okay? because the points are below, they kind of go above and then they kind of go below over here. It gives you that tells you it's a right skew. If they were above, went below and went back above, that'd be a left skew. So there's more points on the left and they kind of trail off on the right. So this is confirming for us that there's a right skew. So that is how you make a normal probability plot. And then finally, the statistics are right here in the stats tab, and it gives you the information you want, the min, quartile 1, median, quartile 3 max. That's called the 5-number summary. How many data points are in our data set, the range and the interquartile range, and the mean, the standard deviation, the variance, and so on. Okay. So that is how you get all of the one variable statistics, all kind of the major statistics you'd want to look at. Okay. And then finally, sometimes you want to calculate the one variable statistics on a probability table. Now, what we have here is we have data, and each of these data points represents one person. One person was on the treadmill for 5 hours, one person for 12 hours, one person for 18 hours. But sometimes you don't get all of the hard data, you get a probability table. So what we do here is I'm going to just delete these. I'm going to say there are some people who have 0 siblings, some people have 1, some people have 2, and some people have 3. But the frequency of these is no longer 1. It's 20% of the people have 0 siblings, 50% of the people have 1 sibling, 25% of the people have 2 siblings, and 5% of the people have 3. And this is just in our sample set. Of course, this is not true for the population of the world, but in our sample, we have this data. Now, what you can then do is you can then go to stats, and you can see that there's not a lot of information here, but it does calculate a mean. So it tells us the average person in our data set has 1.15 siblings, and it gives you the standard deviation of 0.8. Okay, so the average and the standard deviation. Of course, the quartiles and the ranges and stuff aren't that interesting, but the other thing you can look at is the graph. The histogram would have some value. The histogram kind of shows you a visual model of that probability function, or that probability table, right? So there's 20%, 50%, 25, and 5. Okay. You're also noticing, hopefully, on the interval here, it says 3 to 4. It's a square bracket on 3 and a parenthesis on 4. So this is including 3, but not 4. This is from 2 to 3, inclusive of 2 and not 3. So really, this is 0, 1, 2, and 3 people. Okay. So that's it for the stats menu. Both those are really powerful, though. Entering data, hard data, and calculating the information, looking at the graph, but also entering probability tables.